Hello, welcome to another episode of First Appearance Rating. Let's start out with perhaps the most bizarre Jack Kirby creation for DC. Sandman. A very, like I said, perhaps the strangest thing that Jack created at DC, even stranger than OMAC. Okay, this is really not. I don't even know how to describe this book. In that it's extremely strange. I read it long ago, and I kind of skimmed through it again before making this video, and it's just as strange as it was years ago when I read it for the first time. Sandman is not really a superhero. It's kind of if you look at this cover and you see his outfit, he doesn't even need it. So I'm not sure, the functionality or the need for this costume. It looked okay, but for what he is in this story, in this book, I don't get it. Okay, it's one of those few books where I can honestly say I don't get it. And there's a strange character in this book called General Electric. Okay, General Electric. There you go. Sandman is out there to help children with their nightmares. General Electric is kind of cool. He's like, you see it right there, the man with the brain. Okay, look at that. That's pretty cool looking. Other than that, I don't even know how to describe this book, but this is the one where Jack Kirby spent the least amount of time. He wrote and drew with actually Joe Simon. I'm not sure what's the need to bring Joe Simon in here to do the script. And Jack Kirby did the covers for the next few issues. I believe the run only lasts 6 issues. And Jack drew the first one, and then I think other people did the art for the rest of the other books. I don't have any other of the issues, so I don't know, but it's a shortest run of all his run at DC. Like I said, Sandman, the name itself is not original. There had been another Sandman version back in the golden age of comic books, so this is just Jack Kirby version of Sandman. And for this book, this story, I have to give it a 2 for the character. Like I said, it's meh. I don't hate, I don't care for it. And the story, the same thing, a 2 out of 5. So overall, 4 out of 10, a pretty low score for me for this book. I have it because I'm trying to be a Kirby completist as far as his DC Fourth World #1 issue, but I find little reason to read this book ever again. Who knows, I might be in the minority for not liking or loving Sandman, the Kirby version. Next up, Tigra. I'll give a closer look to this book. This is my copy of Giant Size Creature #1. This is my copy. I like Tigra. I like the cat already, so I like this reincarnation of the character. It's an interesting origin where the scientists that help create the character, the cat, had to save the cat because she was shot and she was dying, and the scientists brought her to her people, which is the bunch of cat-like humanoids, and they were able to save her. But in order to save her, she had to change into their kind, and she had to wear this ring. And then the art of this book is pretty bad. Definitely not to my liking. I give Tigra, the character, a 3.5 out of 5 as far as the name and the look and the power, the art itself in this book, and the story. Because the story and the origin is interesting, it saved the score to get 3.5 out of 5. So the book got a 7 out of 10. It would have been a higher score if the art was better. If somebody like Mike Plug did the art, who knows, we could have a much better looking book. But inside, once I show the book on the inside, you see what I mean. But the only thing, well, the interesting thing about this origin of Tigra is that in the beginning, she was, at the start of the her transformation, she was able to change back and forth between being human and being Tigra. And then by the end of the story, she changed to Tigra and stayed, and that's it. That's the final time she can no longer change her shape back. And I'm not sure I like that. See, that's part of the reason why I gave the book a 3.5 out of 5 for the story. I'm torn between how she cannot change back. Part of me want her to have the power to change from being humanoid to being, from being human to being Tigra. I would like to hear what other people think. If it's up to me, I give her the choice to be able to change back and forth whenever she wants to. But that's not the way it was done. So 7 out of 10 for Tigra. Last but not least is the Living Laser. Okay, Avenger 34, the Living Laser. Another great B-level kind of villain. And I will save this book to show the interior when I do the spotlight on Don Heck. Yes, Don Heck. There will be a spotlight on Don Heck. But I like the name. Many of the villains that was introduced in the Avengers was B-level villains in the Silver Age. From the Grim Reaper to the Living Laser to Whirlwind. They all have a cool, like I said, this look, I would have given a higher, I give him a 3.5 out of 5. I would have give a higher score if that was a newer look later when they transform his look. But this is still pretty cool. I like the more form-fitting without the cape. I'm not a big fan of people with capes, outside of maybe Batman. To me, there's no functionality to it, and for some, it kind of unnecessary. But the Living Laser got a 3.5 out of 5, and then the story was actually pretty decent. I actually like the story too, and that also get a 3.5 out of 5. So the Living Laser get a 7 out of 10. It would have gotten a little high score if the Living Laser came out with the newer, cooler costume that he got shortly after this. But that's it. If you want to stay and get a closer look of Tigra, go ahead. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Bye. Okay, so here's my nice copy. This book is, I think, still fairly inexpensive. This book is kind of like misprinted. Part of the cover was, I guess, was not printed correctly, so you have the big white border here on the bottom. Kind of ugly looking, but it's one of those books that I'm pretty happy to have, and I'm not looking to upgrade anytime soon. And here we go. You have Don Perlin and Vince Coletta. with the art, and as I mentioned before, the art is definitely not to my liking. Here you have a Tigra with Mr. Werewolf himself. There you go. That's the first time you see Tigra in her form. There you go. I'm not surprised that Don Perlin is involved with the book, because he, was working on Werewolf by Night at the time, I think. But overall, it's just pretty weak, as you can see. Here we go. We get the quick recaps of the origin of the cat right here. There you go, the cat, seriously wounded and need to be brought to her people, the scientist people, the cat. And this is how she was revived. There you go, the ring, I mentioned the ring. A little black magic, I guess, in transforming her into the Tigra. There you go. And that's basically it. Like I said, decent story, not so great on the art. And thanks for watching. Until the next video. Bye bye.